Tavern Empire Build Academy jumping into range generals for the free-to-play. Now, I'll be honest, there isn't many that we can choose from as a free-to-play player, but there are definitely options that are better than others, and that's what I want to jump into today. So let's go over to the game. Now, if you're not sure what range generals are the main troop type, main tier type that you use to attack. And the reason for this is because most keeps have mounted troops as their number one defense layer, which makes it nicer for the ranged to attack because ranged beats mounted. So I'd say 80% of the time ranged is sent, but obviously there is also the potential that someone can have an awesome siege general and that could be sent at you as well. But in terms of the free to play, you're never going to really have a decent siege general and you're never really going to be in a position to be attacking someone that would require the siege general, the siege attack. So we're focusing on the ranged general attack. Let's go into the main screen because there are a couple of places we can get them from. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you the first one, which I want to mention, but you would normally find it in here, the valuable event down at the bottom right hand corner. And when going into the valuable event, you would then be scrolling across at the top, and it's normally in the first few, so I'd say 5 or 6, it would be in here. This is where you would normally see it, and that's the Trial of Knights. That's the one where you spend the blood of Ares upgrading your generals, and then for doing that you then get some rewards in the Trial of Knights, which also includes 2 ranged generals, and those 2 ranged generals are Louis the Ninth and Marcus Agrippa. So you'll see a lot of people will have Marcus Agrippa, and in fact that is exactly who I have as my general. I'm not using him at the moment, so I've put him in the Senate, but if I did need to use him, this is the guy that I would be taking from that Trial of Knights event. And the reason being is he is easily one of the better options for the free to play. So how it works, you have to spend so much in the Trial of Knights, and every time the event is on, you can get 45 fragments in total for Marcus Agrippa. So you can imagine if you was to do the Trial of Knights event 10 times, that would give you 450 fragments, and this would allow you to upgrade him all the way to the 5th star ascension, giving you all of these buffs that you can see on the screen before you. So that is a good option. Now, I will say Marcus Agrippa has been in the Trial of Knights event for a long time. I'm talking possibly 12 months plus. So how long Marcus Agrippa is going to be in there is anyone's guess. So you could potentially start this on the next Trial of Knights, and then you could find on the Trial of Knights after he is removed, which would then make it a little bit awkward to going after him, and it would make him void as the best ranged general for free to play. So it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on. It's definitely worth thinking about whether this is a good option. I mentioned Louis the Ninth. He's also in there. I don't have him, but what I will do is I will go over to the Tavern, because we can go into the Tavern and we can see things in there. When we go into the recruit option, which is this one here, we can go into the portraits, and then we can change this down to ranged troops. So these are all the different ranged troops, but of course some of these are going to be premium generals that you can't get, but I will have a quick talk about that in a moment. So I also did mention Louis the Ninth, and he's also available via the drop down in Europe. You can see he's the one before Marcus Agrippa, and this is his stats. Increases ranged troop attack by 40% and increases ranged troop defense by 45% when general is leading the army. And when we click on Marcus Agrippa, you can see his ranged troop attack is 40%, but defense and HP, so there's the 2 there, giving you 30%. So you'll see a lot of people have Marcus Agrippa, but with Marcus Agrippa and Louis the Ninth, like I say, the only concern is they've been in the Trial of Knights event quite a while, and there could be the potential that they are changed at any moment. What I will also say as well, I have mentioned this in previous videos, I'm going to do it again in this one, because it's an option for the free to play. So the option is saving up all of your general tokens. This is something I absolutely recommend, and what I mean by that is these tokens here, I've got 118 of the premium tokens. I don't use them until I've got over 100, and when I've got over 100, what I will then do is I will go after one of the premium generals. And if we just go into those items again, just want to jump in there quickly, go back to that general, just want to show you in here that 118, we click on detail and chance details, you can see that Shapur the First, which was the most recent general released, is at 16.13%. So basically, when a new general comes out, it is times 600, I think, in terms of chances of coming out. So if I was to use all of my 118 tokens that I've now saved and gathered up, the likelihood is I'd be incredibly unlucky that I wouldn't be able to take Shapur the First all the way to that 5th star ascension. You can be lucky and do it on less, 70 or 80, I have heard, but the recommendation is to have 100 plus so that you almost guarantee, and I say almost because there are the rare occasion I've heard people spending 120 and not actually having enough, but you would need to be incredibly unlucky. So what I'm saying there is save those general tokens to go and get a ranged general special, a premium one that you can use all the way to the 5th star. So like I say, the next ranged general that comes out, use all my 118 tokens. I am likely to get that person to 5 star. But that is the long game. It is not easy as a free to play to obtain 118 tokens. How long have I been doing it? Probably a year plus. I genuinely can't remember how long I've been doing this, but it is a long time that I've been doing that. So if that was not an option, let's just say that you are not playing the long game, you want to do something a little bit quicker, we can also have a look in the tavern for generals that pop out in here, in this section here, going around. Every so often, a certain range general will pop out that will be of a gold level, a gold star. So you've got epic orange and you've got historic generals. And the chances of these coming out in the tavern are very, very limited. But if you was to persist in this, I managed to get Queen Boudica ascended all the way to 5 star by just getting Queen Boudica from here and also from the relics. So that is an option. It used to be Electra. Electra used to be the free-to-play option that people did because I believe Electra was available in here. She is no longer available, and she was also available in the relic. So it was a nice option to be able to do. So who do we use instead of that? The option, I believe, is, let's go into the portraits. Let's drop this down onto ranged. And then what we want to do here, you can do this all the way across and have a look at all the different ones. But if I go to Europe and I go refresh probability, you can see there, these ones here, the 0.07%, Alfred the Great, Henry V, Edward III, and Charles the 12th, which is the one I recommend going after, is Charles the 12th. He does come with some very good stats, and I'll show you what I mean about Charles the 12th. Let's have a look at him now. Here he is. And the reason I'm recommending him is because he comes with that troop attack of 40%, but he also increases the defense by 10% for ranged, but he also, crucially, comes with a little bit of march size as well of 10%, which is definitely going to be a big advantage when going to attack. So if you are free to play, if you are looking for a ranged attack general that you can get for free, this would be my recommendation. If we went back into the tavern and we had a look at some of the other options as well, again, we can click on the refresh probability. So you can see Winfield Scott is 0.07%. You can see the stats are not that great. Again, we can go across to Japan. We can have a look at the probabilities in here. So Himiko is one of the most recent that you could go after. And you can see she reduces mounted troop attack by 25% and increases your ranged troop attack and defense by 15%. But again, you've got to remember, again, we can continue along here. We can have a look at Jumong. He's 35% with the ranged troop attack. These people that I'm showing you are all available in the tavern. Lishimin, he only comes with march size 10%, ranged troop attack by 15%, so you wouldn't go after him. Russia, you got Vladimir the Great. Again, if we click on Vladimir, he again reduces that enemy troop attack by 10%, and your ranged troop attack is increased by 20% when leading the army. And you can do this all the way across for Arabia. There is no one in there, and this is where I was talking about Electra before. I believe Electra used to be available in the tavern, if I remember rightly. But now when we go into the refresh probability, you can see Electra is now down at 0%. And there's actually only 2 available in here. And that is Nar and Thutmose III. When we have a look at Nar, not too bad. He's certainly not the worst one in the world. Ranged troop attack by 35%. But again, I would still go with Charles II from Europe. I think he's the better option. He comes with that march size, and not only does he come with the march size, but he also comes with that troop attack of 40% and the defense on the ranged troops by 10%. Now, how you get this, like I say, what you need to do is you need to go into these, you need to select both of these, click on refresh, and basically you would be clicking until it pops up. It will stop you, so you can click this nice and quick. So you can see there, it said, oh, we found an orange general, we found a historic general. Do you want to have a look at this person? It's Jadwiga. I wouldn't want Jadwiga, so all I'd do is I'd click that and then click confirm, and I'd carry on again. I'll be clicking, doing this. Catherine II, have a look at Catherine II. You can see she is a subordinate city general. I wouldn't want her, and I'd be doing this all the way until I got the Charles II that I was going after, or potentially adding someone like Nar in there as well, maybe having 2 or 3 and getting either or and then continuing to get them. I'm trying to think if this is the best strategy, because you could be doing this for a very, very long time and find out that Gnar would have come out really nice and quick. You didn't have to spend so many gems, and you would have had someone that you could use as a ranged general. Personally, I would still want to be having Charles II if I was doing this, so I probably wouldn't use more than one, but you certainly can, and see which one comes out first. So you get 30 fragments for each one. You need 450 for a full ascension, which means you would need 15 copies from here to be able to level someone up all the way to that 5-star ascension. So this is the other way you can do it. The best option, without a doubt, for the long game is doing it via the premium general tokens and getting them and getting 100 and getting yourself a premium general, ranged general. The second best option is Trial of Knights and going in there and getting it via that method, where Marcus Agrippa and currently Louis the Ninth are available. And then the third option is going into here and choosing the likes of Charles the 12th and getting the 15 different copies that you need to ascend all the way up. And that is pretty much it. I wouldn't recommend anything else personally myself when going after these. These are the 3 options that I would definitely choose. And like I said, don't forget as well, just to find exactly what you want and how you want, go into portraits, go into the click down, turn that to the ranged, select the ranged troop on the drop down, and then check that refresh probability. So if you're going after Charles II, you can see 0.07 is not going to come out often. I'll be honest, it's not going to come out often. It does only cost 50 to do the refresh. So if we went back on this, it's 50 every time. So it's not massive in terms of gems, but obviously if you was continuing doing this for a very long time, then of course that could definitely add up. So those are the options. Number 1, premium general token, save over 100, go after a premium general special. Number 2, go for the Trial of Knights, Marcus Agrippa and Louis the Ninth. Those are the ranged generals that are available currently in the Trial of Knights event, but be aware, they have been in there for a very long time. There is a possibility that they could be changed any moment, so take that into consideration. And then third and final is the Tavern. Going into here, Charles II would be my recommendation, and you would need 15 copies to ascend him all the way to 5 stars. If you've got any better suggestions, or if there's anything I've missed in this particular video, then please do mention it in the comments so that other people and myself can see, and I will leave it there. If you've enjoyed this content, please do consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. It really does help me on the YouTube algorithms, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.